Monday, Flosstube. It is Monday, February 24th. My name is Caroline and welcome to my channel. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch with a little bit of knitting and sewing thrown in for good measure. So hello, welcome back. What a great week it's been. It has been a better week than the week before. We had no floods and my sewing machine didn't act up. Everything was great. So that was nice. And I got to go to my stitching retreat and I had the best time. I had the best time, as I always do. The Monday after retreat, if you've been lucky enough to go to a stitching retreat, I'm sure many of you feel the same way, that when you come home the Monday after the retreat, or whatever day it is, that you're home again and back to the real world and no longer able to sit and stitch as much as you want, whenever you want, and chat and visit with your stitching friends. It's always a little bit of a quiet day, just to sit and think about all the fun you had and wish maybe that you were still there. So I just had a great time. So really fun. So I picked up a few things. There was a freebie table at the stitching retreat, and I'm going to tell you more about the retreat in a little while. Let's do the regular Monday Flosstube things first, and then I'll share a few things that happened at the retreat. I didn't take a whole lot of video and pictures. I just wanted to, you know, be in the moment, be with my friends, and I took a few pictures, some memories and things like that. So I'll probably have put in one or two at the very beginning in the intro of this video, but other than that, I'll just mostly be sharing things, like physical things that I did and or were shared with me. So every Monday I do a giveaway because it's Monday, and you know, it's always nice to have a nice little something to look forward to on Monday, and I always look forward to doing a giveaway because it's fun. And there was a freebie table at the retreat, and I picked up a few things off the freebie table that caught my eye, that I thought, I knew that there might be one or two of you out there that would just love these things that were on the table. So one of those things that I picked up this weekend on the freebie table is going to be today's Because Monday. And this, if you're a fan of Teresa Wensler, this is the giveaway for you. So the giveaway happens over on the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. If you're a member over there on the Facebook group, the Because Monday giveaways, they all happen over there. I do other giveaways every once in a while here on the channel, but the Because Monday with the chart, that happens over on the Facebook group. So the chart for this week's giveaway is Teresa Wensler, and it's called Magical Night. Magical Night. So this is the chart up for grabs this week, and it is a just cross stitch publication. It's on a nice thick cardstock. So this is the original. I can't open it up, but you know what I mean. It's the one that it's on. You know, you open it up and the design is in the middle. So it's nice thick cardstock. Doesn't look like it's ever been stitched. There are there's not a single mark on it. It's pretty pristine. Wow, this thread list is intense. There's no reason why I can't show you the thread list. This is from 1990. Look at this thread list. It's the entire thing. Holy doodle. She's not fooling around. So actually, I should have opened up the whole thing, because that's the pattern. It's not just that. You need to see the whole thing. That's what you're stitching. Pretty phenomenal. So I thought there might be one or two of you out there who might think that this is pretty special. So if you'd like a chance for me to send this to you, then leave me a comment on the Facebook posting and I will draw a name next Monday. So speaking of the giveaways from last week, there were two giveaways. There was one on the Facebook group for a la-di-da pattern, and I did not draw that name before I sat down to record this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a name when I'm done recording this, and I will insert the name of the winner of that la-di-da pattern, Love Spoken Here. I'm going to insert your name right here, and congratulations, this person, you are the lucky winner of the la-di-da chart. Yay! I apologize that I didn't pull your name before I sat down to do this. I thought I was pretty organized today. I thought I had everything ready to go because I have a number of things to share, but that was the one thing that I didn't do. So I will get that pattern out to you if you won the la-di-da chart from last week. The other giveaway that I had last Monday was I was giving away a bag kit, the Alice collection, the Coral Alice text bag set, including Michelle Garrett's pattern for Literary Alice. And I was giving that away here on the YouTube channel as a special celebration for hitting 100 Flosstube episodes. And I cannot tell you how chuffed I was by all of the beautiful comments that you left me last week. They were a lot of fun to read and really, really kind. And I'm so glad that you're still here hanging out with me on a weekly basis, because I do like to talk about crafting. So thank you. Thank you all. So I put the comments, I put the video URL into the YouTube random comment picker, and you can filter out for, you know, whatever text or number that you want to be able to choose the winner by. And there were 257 unique comments, and then I hit the button to start the raffle, and then I'm going to put in a picture right here of who the winner was. So right here. So congratulations, Patty. I get to send you the bag, the whole set, including the little clock charm, and I will email you a copy of Michelle's pattern to be included with your bag set. So congratulations, Patty Miller. You are the winner of last week's Celebrating 100 Flosstube episodes giveaway. So congratulations. That was fun. Okay, so what did I work on over this past week? I'm gonna start with the sock, because I was really hoping I would have a finish today. However, you only have a finish when you take something and you work on it. And I didn't. I did not take the sock on the retreat because, you know what, at the last minute, I didn't want to. And so I didn't. But I did, I cut myself a deal. I said, self, fine, you don't have to take it with you. But when you come home on Sunday, you have to at least attempt to try and finish that sock. So I stuck to it and I did. So I am almost done. I was really hoping that I would be able to finish it up this morning, but I just ran out of time. I had to get Nicholas off to school and I had a few other things going on. So my morning coffee crafting time was spent getting my sock toe. So I did start this last night. I started the toe last night, and then I did a fair bit this morning, and I'm almost done. I think I have 4 more rounds, so 2 more decrease rounds and 2 more plain rounds to go, and then I can Kitchener the toe, and this great big enormous gray sock will be done. So it's a pair of socks for my father-in-law, in case you're wondering why I'm talking about this on a cross stitch channel, and I've been talking about it since December. So it's okay, it's all good. As my plan is, next Monday when I see you again, I will have this sock completed, and I hope to have the cuff of sock number 2 well underway. So that's the plan. So big gray sock. I'm also gonna weigh my wool when I'm done sock number 1. I'm going to weigh the sock and then I'm going to weigh what I have left. Fortunately, I have another skein. In fact, I have 2 more skeins of this exact dye lot. It's not going to be a problem. However, even when they come from the same dye lot, it's a good idea to, and you can do the same thing with floss. Actually, this is a really good trick. Let's say you're working on a project and you're starting to run low on one color of floss. What you can do is you can, if you have something that's really, really similar, like a color that's really, really similar, and this will work if with either 2 strands or 1 strand. If you've got another color in your stash that's really close, what you can do is you can pull out 1 thread of the really, really close color and 1 thread of the floss that you're trying to, you know, eke out to make last through your project. And as long as it's, you know, in a place where, you know what I mean? Like, you'll have to test it out, but usually you can get away with continuing along with your project and basically double the amount of floss that you have left by being able to sub in 1 strand of something that's really, really similar. The other thing you can do is if you're stitching 1 thread over 1 or 2, you can do the bottom leg of your cross in the new, very similar color, and then the top leg of the cross with the old color, and that also will help make that thread go just a little bit further. Great, great tip. But for yarn, what you can do is if you want to work in a new skein of yarn, you start back maybe an inch before you really need it, and then you can alternate skeins. So 1 row of the old yarn, 1 row of the new yarn, and that way it sort of blends it in a little bit better so that you don't get that line of old yarn and new yarn. So it just kind of makes it a little bit more seamless looking, if that makes sense. So big gray sock, because as you can tell, this yarn is not a solid gray. It's got some tonal variegate, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? Words are escaping me today. Anyways, enough of my big gray sock. But great tip for being able to, oh, got all my stitch markers in there. Okay, so big gray sock will be complete tonight. In fact, it will be complete tonight, and then I will cast on the second one fairly soon, maybe in the next couple of days. Okay, the other 2 projects that I took were Frederika and Literary Alice. I also took my Lizzie Kate, it's the Christmas Mystery Stitch Along. I can't remember the title of it. You know what I mean though, right? The pink and sort of minty green one. It's really pretty, and I haven't worked on it in ages. And it happened to be in the same project bag that I wanted to take my Frederika in, so I just tucked it all in together. But in all honesty, the only thing I worked on this weekend was Frederika, and I had a blast. So Frederika, this is a Carriage House samplings piece, and looks like this. Just so pretty. So Carriage House samplings, I love it. And I made some progress. So there you go. There are only a couple of stitches missing in the top border. There is a couple of those middle stitches that haven't been stitched, and you know, they're all, most of them are one color, but some of them are a bit different. Some of them are dark, some of them are yellow, some of them are just different. So I tried to fill most of them in, but I think I'm still missing the yellow ones from the very inside cross on those little diamonds are still missing. However, most of them are done. I just need to double check that all of them get done. And then I completed the black on the border to the right corner, and I completed the fill-in on the date, and I did more of the stem on the flowers and finished all of those leaves. And I stitched the key. I actually stitched the key twice because I had forgotten, as you do when you don't work on something for 2 years, I had forgotten that this flower was in the wrong spot. And I had made a boo-boo on the stem coming down, and so this flower was one stitch too low and one stitch too far to the left. So I had completely forgotten, and so I based my key based on the placement of this, and I hadn't stitched the black of the border yet, so I was happily chatting away, stitching my key, and then I went to come and stitch the border, and I realized, oops, it's in the wrong place, and that's not going to fit. And I didn't want the key touching the border because, you know, you can fudge only so much, right? And that just wouldn't have looked right. So now there is one, as there should be, there's one stitch in between the key and the border, as it should be. And then I did quite a lot of work on this, on the left border. So I know I'm doing a 24-hour rotation, but I did not calculate any time spent on this. I just stitched what I wanted to stitch, and I just enjoyed my time. And I am loving working on this so much that I'm resetting my timer. I'm resetting my timer for another 24 hours, and I'm starting fresh with another 24-hour rotation because I'm not sure how much time I put on it, and frankly, I don't care because I'm not done. I want to put another full 24 hours in and see where I can get when I'm not, you know, chatting my face off and completely distracted. So another 24 hours of solid stitching time into this. So where I'm going next is I'm actually going to move my way over, so to the right, and I'm going to start with the key. There's another key that's just under the date, and then I'm going to work my way over here. And my friend Dawn was like, don't you want to just stitch the bird? Don't you want to get to the bird? And I'm like, I am saving that bird. The bird is like saving, you know, the best part of your meal. Do you do that? When you eat your dinner, do you save the best part of your dinner for the last few bites so that you have the flavor of your favorite part of dinner for the very last? Or is that just me? I don't think it's just me. But I'm kind of the same sometimes with what I'm stitching. Because I love stitching it all, but I can't, I know that I'm going to love stitching that bird. And so I'm kind of saving it for the end. Oh, just happy with this. So happy. So yep, another 24 hours. You'll be seeing it again next week with a whole lot more progress on it. I did not put a single stitch into Literary Alice, so it's not even worth me showing it to you, except for the fact that you will be seeing it next week because I really want to, I want Alice to take shape. I want Alice to take shape because, well, I want to stitch her, so I need to get to it. Okay, I have one more whip that I wanted to share with you today, and I've been wanting to share this with you for a little while, but I thought today's the day because I have a little bit of time this week. Maybe we'll see. Do we ever really have time? We feel like we're going to have time, and then plans change. But anyways, in my mind, I have time this week. This is my oldest whip. Point blank. I have never shown it here on this channel ever. So if you've been with me since the beginning, I'm not even sure you know that I have this. So when Sarah was a baby, that's when my cross stitching really sort of took off. And it's when I was pregnant with Sarah was when I found my needle workshop Thread and I, which has since they have retired, but I still see Kathy, one of the owners of that shop. I still see her all the time, which is fantastic. But shortly after I had Sarah, I thought I wanted to make her a stocking. And so I purchased a little bit of dust on it. Pardon me. So I purchased this stocking from Thread and I, and I fully kitted it up. I bought the beautiful linen and all of the threads and beads and pearl cottons and all that jazz. And it was a Just Nan Christmas Soldiers. So this was the pattern. Beautiful, right? So I'm not sure you can see, but there are a lot of, you know, satin stitches. Let me see, what have we got here? Smyrna cross, large diamond eyelet, triple crossed rice, satin poinsettia motifs, small triple leviathan. I don't remember that one, but maybe I didn't do them. Doesn't look like I did them. And then a diamond Smyrna, which I know I did. And also it would appear that I switched out some colors, because look at past me, wrote them on a sticky note and stuck it on the pattern, which if I hadn't done that, I would have had no clue, because Sarah she's turning 19 in May. So that gives you some idea of how old this whip is. It's probably about 19 years old. And do you want to see how much of it I finished? I know, right? I almost finished the whole thing. I almost finished the whole thing. Do you want to know what happened? We had a dog. Her name was Maddie. And I was working away on this, and I think I was beading as I went, because at that time I didn't know any better. Not that you're wrong if you bead at the same time, because it's all personal preference. However, now if I'm going to put any beads in, I prefer to do it at the very end. It's because I roll my fabric on scroll rods, and I don't want the beads to distort the fabric. So at this point I was beading as I went. And everything on here is stitched except for down here at the toe. And you can see I even have left the thread from where I was stitching the drum at the time. And let me tell you what happened. When I was stitching that drum, my dog Maddie tipped over my container of beads, my little container of seed beads that had about a gajillion beads in it. And it was all of the beads that I needed for the toe, plus about a gajillion more. And those little beads went everywhere. I mean, if you've ever dropped a thing of seed beads, you know what I'm talking about, because I was finding seed beads for the next 2 years. They were everywhere. And I kind of lost heart. I was so, I'm sure, you know, it was a silly thing, but it was kind of like, oh, I can't even. And then so I picked up as many as I could, and I vacuumed up the rest, and then I just put it away. And I thought, I just don't even want to look at it right now, because I can't even remember what happened. I think then I even lost the container of the beads that I had salvaged, and I just put it away in a drawer. And by the time I wanted to look at it again, I didn't want to finish it into a stocking anymore, because, well, Sarah was 10, 11, then 12, and then I thought, well, I'll finish it for Nicholas. But then I thought, I can't finish it for Nicholas when I started it for Sarah, and I have never even made Sarah a stocking. That doesn't seem fair. So, and you know, we're not the kind of family that, I have my childhood stocking, and John has his childhood stocking, but it's this ratty old thing that, you know, he likes because it's his childhood stocking. And my kids have now used the same stocking since they were babies. And so to all of a sudden change and give them a brand new stocking. And I guess I could save it and you know, eventually turn it into a stocking for a grandchild, if I have a grandchild. But I don't really want to. I don't want to turn it into a stocking anymore. I thought, what the heck am I gonna do with this thing? It's almost finished. And then I thought, I should just turn it into a pillow. What the heck? You know, just this part. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's my plan. I'm gonna take the part that I stitched for the toe and I'm gonna try and finish it wabi-sabi somehow. And I'm gonna turn it into a little Christmas ornament. So just that motif right there, that's gonna be a Christmas ornament. Then I'm gonna figure out, because look at how cute those little things are. They're adorable. So what I could do is either come to down here. So if I fold this up like this, you can use your imagination. So if it was that much, that would be the center of a really beautiful Christmas pillow, right? Or I could just take the top part and turn that into a Christmas ornament or a flat fold or something. I'd have to do some unpicking of some of the stuff that's underneath, but this tassel, that's not gonna come out nicely. That's gonna leave a big mark. So that's why I'm thinking just find some Christmas fabric. I might have some lying around and turn it into a pillow and then be done with it. Stop waffling about it and feeling bad about it because it's been sitting in a, you know those bags that you get bedding in? Well, I have one under my bed. It's full of a few things like this. And it's been sitting under there, zipped up, safe from, dust and dirt and all that kind of stuff. But it's been sitting there and I've kind of, had it on my mind, like, what are you gonna do with it? So I think I'm just gonna take care of it and I'm just gonna do it and not be afraid of it anymore and just save the stitches, save my own stitches and turn it into something else so that I can enjoy it, because there are some really beautiful, beautiful stitches in here. I mean, look at these. What are those? Are those rose stitches? You know, the ones where you pull and you make the circle in the center of it, in the border here. And look at these guys. They're so pretty. And look at those tin soldiers. I mean, come on. This is beautiful stitching. And I did this. I stitched this. So I should save my own stitches, right? Because I don't want to turn it into a stocking. So I'm gonna think about it a little bit more, but then I think I'm just gonna stop thinking and just do it and just go for it. Because it's certainly not doing anyone any good sitting under my bed for the last 19 years. Okay, maybe 15 years. You know what I mean, right? It's time, enough time. So I hope you enjoyed that little trip down my memory lane. Goodness me. All right, I am gonna just, I'm gonna go and warm up my coffee and drink some of it, and then I will be right back and share some of the things that I got at the retreat. And I'm just gonna pop in a little ad from YouTube right here. So I'll be right back. Okay, had a bit of caffeine. All right, so the retreat, oh my goodness, the retreat, it was so much fun. So much fun. First of all, a huge shout out and thank you to my friend Judy, who showed up. There was a piece of paper near my chair when I was unpacking all my stuff, and Judy said, "Oh, that's for you." And I said, "Thank you. What is it?" And what she had done was she had ordered the copy of the pattern Amtrak. That's, if you look back in my videos, if you haven't seen it, it's the one that is a huge geometric design, 3 colors, red, gray, and blue. And it was my last full 24-hour rotation. And there was this very sad story about how I'd spilled some red wine on the pattern, and to my knowledge, the back page was ruined and I recycled it. So she purchased the pattern, and so what she did was she simply copied the last page so that I would have the full information and details on the pattern, and gave it to me. So that was very kind, and thank you, Judy. Judy. Oh, it was so nice to see all my friends. So the retreat is at it's a very small retreat at the Elmhurst Inn and Spa in Ingersoll, Ontario. And I have been mentioning all the way along, if you wanted more information on how to join us, that you could contact Miss Patty directly at stitchandpretty@rogers.com. However, the next 2 retreats are full. The June retreat is now full, and the October retreat has been full for a while. And the next available retreat is February a year from now. So, you know, doesn't hurt to have your name put on a list though. So you can always email Miss Patty, stitchandpretty@rogers.com. And basically what you do is when you book your room at the inn, at the hotel, that is what reserves your spot for the retreat. So Miss Patty and her daughter Carrie, and even though she wasn't able to come this time, our friend Joanne Clahane, who I know watches, so hi Joanne, Joanne helped, even though she wasn't able to attend this time. She helped put a packet of freebie patterns together. She helped all the stuff, a lot of the stuff that was on the freebie table, Joanne brought with her the last time they came to London to visit her son, and she brought it all with her. And it you know, being able to do what she did from afar, she lives in Ottawa now, was wonderful. And boy, Miss Patty and her daughter Carrie do so much work to put on just a wonderful, relaxing time for all of us, and it was phenomenal. And a huge thank you to Patty, Joanne, and Carrie for hosting us. It was really, really fabulous. So I told you about the freebie table already. I picked up a few other things. These will be future giveaways, but I just wanted to let you know that I have them in my back pocket here because I don't do punch needle. However, I know that many of you do. And if my memory serves, because I was watching Farm Girl and she was talking about buttermilk basin. Is that right? Anyways, they looked like beautiful patterns, and buttermilk basin rang a bell. And so I snapped up these 3 buttermilk basin charts for punch needle, and these will be giveaways at some point. So maybe if you love punch needle and you've been keeping your eye out for something like this, let me know, and then I'll know if it's like hugely overwhelmingly popular. I'll put these up next week for the Because Monday giveaway. Okay, so you'll have a week's notice. We'll see. I'll talk about it again next week, but I don't know how popular these are because I don't do punch needle myself. So the first one is the Simplify Crow. Then there is the Potted Sunflower. Apparently this is a 3-part series, and this is only the last one. So I'm assuming that it's this one right here. So that's the last one, right? 1, 2, 3. And then another crow flower. Oh, this is so pretty. Look at that one. Beautiful. Okay, so I picked those up. My friend Dawn handed me a couple of patterns for a couple of charts for giveaway. So these also are coming up. Glory Be, Give Thanks, and New York Dreamer Love Blooms by Isaiah Gladstone, which I'm tempted to sneak this one into my own whip pile, to be honest with you. We'll see. It's so pretty. Look at the house on this one. The other thing that I snapped up at the freebie table, but this one I'm keeping. This one, my friend Sarah and her mom Robin, I have known them now for years. I met them at the very first retreat that I ever went to with this particular group of women, and Sarah and Robin have become fast friends. We live about 2 hours apart from each other. They live in St. Catharines, Ontario, and I always look forward to seeing them every time. I look forward to seeing everybody there every time, but because Sarah and Robin live 2 hours away, I know that there's not really much chance that I get to see them, other than, though, you know, now that Crafty Kim's been running the Hamilton Stitch-In, they have been attending that, so I have been seeing them a little more frequently lately, which has been fun. However, I digress. Sarah put this onto the freebie table, and I snapped it up because I just think this is the sweetest pattern ever. It's called First Outing, and I'm hoping you can see it. Let me take it out of the plastic. It's meant for petty point, but I'm probably just going to cross stitch it. Okay, so it's a bunny. It's a bunny. Can you see there? And there's the little baby bunnies underneath. And it's just this really beautiful nature scene. And the designer is, it's similar to another petty point pattern that I bought ages ago. Oh, come on. Let me open it up. Where is it? Ah, Louise Gregoire. Louise Gregoire Originals Petty Point. Her patterns are beautiful. So this is a 1997 pattern. Louise Gregoire. Just beautiful. She did a Lake Louise petty point that I had in my stash for a long time, and then I finally sent it out as a special little gift because chances are that I probably wouldn't stitch it, and it's just now I'd like to buy it again for myself because I liked having it in my stash. You know those things that you just like to dream about that one day you'll stitch them? I love this chart. I just think it's so beautiful. And I love rabbits. So I love the little rabbits that live in my hedge. So it's just beautiful. Okay, so that's what I scored off the freebie table. But for one thing. And this was the score of the day. I scored myself a Hardwick Manor hoop. I know, I'm not a hoop stitcher, but I've been wanting to try a hoop, and I didn't really like the other hoops that I bought because I've only ever bought really, really cheap hoops. And my friend Kathy, who used to own the needlework shop, she brought a few things for the freebie table, and this was one of them because they'd had it at their shop and it didn't sell, and she was like, what am I gonna do with it? So she popped it on the freebie table, and I was like, now's my chance. So I snapped it up because I didn't know if I was gonna like it. So that's why I wasn't really willing to. I support my needlework shops. Let me be right up front. I spend a lot of money at needlework shops, and so, you know, I don't feel bad that I didn't buy one back when it was expensive and that I took it for free off my friend. Does that make sense? Because I did spend a lot of money at that store. But I probably wouldn't have ordered this or bought it myself because I'm just not a hoop stitcher. I don't like stitching in hand. But I always kind of wondered what it would be like because you see Vonna using one all the time and it just looks, she makes it look effortless and beautiful. And you know, when I grow up, I'm gonna be just like Vonna. So I thought, now's your chance. Just give it a try, and if you don't like it, you can just put it back on the freebie table and then, you know, someone else can have a go at it. I kind of loved it, as you can tell, because it's still in my hot little hands. I actually stitched for the whole weekend on my Frederika. Did you notice the hoop mark? I used this the whole weekend because frankly the 11 by 17 Q-snap in the Lowry frame was driving me bananas. It was driving me bananas. Now, I'm sure it would have been a lot better if I'd used the long arm, the frame adapter, the large frame adapter, but I don't like that thing because it touches the back of my fabric. I've talked about that before. So I tried the Q-snap, and because also when you're in a situation where the lighting isn't, for me, where the lighting isn't what I'm used to at home, I have to hold the stitching up a lot closer to my face, which I was teased about on Instagram. Crafty Kim posted a picture, and I happened to be in that picture, and I was stitching like this, and a couple of people were like, Caroline needs a magnifier, and it was Ellen. Ellen said, tell Caroline to hold her stitching a little closer to her face. Like, so when I take my glasses off, I can see like I'm wearing magnifiers. That's because I am very, very, very nearsighted. And as I'm maturing, that superpower is improving. And so I just take my glasses off and stitch. However, I was mentioning this to a few of the girls there, that I'm thinking of taking my stitching, and this isn't even my idea. I got this idea from Daleen, so grateful, who is amazing. And she's so smart, because what she did was she took her stitching into her optometrist, and she said, this is what I do. And I'd like a pair of glasses that I can wear while I'm doing this, because I notice when I hold my glasses like this, okay, so you can see where they are. They're about this far away from my face, and they're that far off my nose. I can see perfectly everything. I can see my stitching normally. I can still see the TV. I can still see people who are trying to talk to me, because I don't know about you. When I'm stitching, I take my glasses off and then I stitch. And if someone starts to talk to me, in order to hear them better, I have to put my glasses back on. It's really a bizarre thing. It's like, hang on, I can't hear you. Let me put my glasses on. It's bizarre. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my stitching to my optometrist, like Daleen did, and I'm gonna say, can you make me a pair of glasses so that I can see like I can see when my glasses are like this, and see what he can do. That would be pretty awesome. But you know, they're not gonna be cheap. They're not gonna be cheap. We have zero coverage. In Canada, in case you didn't know, yes, we have universal health care, which is amazing, but eyes and teeth are not included, though we have free eye exams for children up to the age of, oh my goodness, what is it? Is it 21, 19, 21, 25? I don't know. That changed recently. And in fact, everyone gets one free. Does everyone get one free exam a year, or is that just kids? I think it's just kids now. I can't remember. That's terrible. But you know, glasses, all that kind of stuff, none of that is covered unless you have a health plan through where you work. And John and I are both self-employed, so we do not have coverage for that. Also, dental is not covered by our OHIP program. So they will not be cheap. However, I think that they will be worth it. Okay, Miss Patty had gift bags for everybody. And in those gift bags was a beautiful bottle of hand soap to go along with a Charles Craft tea towel that you can stitch on. So it's got a panel of Ada on it, and you can stitch on it. And so she thought, you know, soap and a hand towel. I thought that was really, really, really a sweet idea. Now, I am not a fancy tea towel kind of gal, because in my house, it would get dirty in about 30 seconds. Because somebody would come in with greasy, oily hands, and they wouldn't know that you weren't supposed to wipe your dirty, greasy hands on it. And so it would only last for about 30 seconds. However, so I wasn't going to keep this, but then I had a thought, because let me take the tag off so I can open it up. Let me use my scissors. Okay, am I straight again? Sorry about that. The battery died in my camera, so I had to go and get my other battery. So welcome back. You probably didn't even notice I was gone. So I was telling you about this tea towel because look, looks like a panel of fabric to me that you could very easily stitch something on that panel of fabric and sew it together and make a pillow or a bag or anything else. It doesn't have to be a tea towel. So I am totally going to stitch something on this, on that panel, and I'm going to turn it into something else that I don't have to worry about yelling at the family to not touch. That's what I'm going to do. So thank you, Miss Patty. That was a good idea. Okay, so the other thing that we were gifted at the retreat, I already told you about Sarah and Robin. Well, Robin had made Ort catchers for everybody. And I'll tell you a funny story in a minute. So look, isn't that pretty? This was the one I chose. They were all different and you got to choose which one you wanted. And she made them all. It was a simple little pattern that she had gotten from a quilting shop when she did one of those, you know, sometimes there's those shop hops where you go from shop to shop, and I think this was a pattern that was offered at one of the shops that she went to. And so she made one for everybody in the room. And at one point, who was it? Crafty Kim, I think it was Kim, was so cheeky because she got there on Friday night and I held it up and I said, look, look what Robin made for us. There's one over there. You can go choose one for yourself. And I held mine up and she said, oh, there's actually orts in yours. You've actually been stitching. Yeah, cheeky. I know. My reputation precedes me. Yakety yak. Okay, so just one more thing to share. I mean, isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. I love that. Really. Love that color. Very girly. Okay. My friend Dawn. Codependent Knitters, Knit's Best Thing. She is her bag business. She is a bag maker and knitting podcaster, friend extraordinaire. She has become a bit of a new cross stitcher. I mean, she was a cross stitcher a long time ago, but then she gave away all of her stuff because she didn't think she was ever going to cross stitch ever again. And then she started watching my Flosstube channel and decided that maybe she might give it a go again. And now she loves to stitch. She doesn't stitch a lot. She's still primarily a knitter. However, she came to the retreat this weekend and we got to hang out. And she had made a few things for Patty as a thank you. Patty and Carrie and myself. And she also made a bag for the raffle giveaway, which was so sweet. So she handed me this little package and I unwrapped it. And inside was just the most beautifully quilted, beautifully pieced, with a bird on the front. I had purchased a bag from her a long time ago that had this print on it, and she remembered that I loved it. And so she did a quilt as you go panel and then turned that panel into some needle books. So there's a little snap on the front. And I'll show you. So there's some inside, there's a few little pockets, and then there's some felt, and I've already got a few needles in here, and I stuck my needle minders in here. And she included, I didn't want to forget these, that's why I still have them in the plastic. She made me some floss tags as well. And I was looking at this and I thought I could make those because they're beautiful, and I may have a scrap or two of fabric laying around, and wouldn't that be so fun? So now this is all I want to make this week. This is all I want to do, is I want to do quilt as you go patchwork, and I want to make things out of it because it's so pretty. Look at that back panel. I was just like a little magpie when I opened it. I was like, oh, it's so pretty. I love it. I love it so much. And now I want to make a whole pile of them. So we must have chatted for ages on how to make it, how to do it, snaps. So I have I have a snap thing on order. I have a snap thing on order for a couple of reasons, because there's another little project that's been on the back burner for a little while that I was in discussion and cahoots with Heidi Cran of Stitching 1/2 at a stitching retreat a few years back now, called the Scroll Rod Sleeping Bag. And the Scroll Rod Sleeping Bag is trademark Scroll Rod Sleeping Bag, and needs to have the what do you call, you know, the first demo model prototype. I need to come up with a prototype, and Heidi and I have discussed, should I use snaps or should I use a zip for the Scroll Rod Sleeping Bag? What kind of a strap should it have? Over the shoulder or cross body? What kind of strap do we want on the Scroll Rod Sleeping Bag? So I needed that snap maker to try out my sleeping bag idea. So a few little ideas percolating in the old noodle coming up. So much fun. Anyways, Dawn made this for me, and I absolutely am totally in love with it, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought you might love it too. And if you sew, and this maybe floats your boat, needle books are so handy, because one of these in a notions pouch chucked into your project bag and you're set. One thing that Vanna talked about in her Flossmas video that she did with Gary Parr on Fiber Talk for, they did a video for me during Flossmas. If I remember, I'll try to link to it below, but you can just go over to the Fiber Talk channel. I'm sure you can find it easily. They did a video of all of their favorite things, stitching necessities, and Vanna shared that she uses a needle book when she travels as a way to preload, like if she's stitching, let's say, the red work band samplers that she's been doing. Well, that was a few months ago. But she would preload a whole pile of needles and then pop them into her needle book, and then she could just take that and then her fabric, and then she was just ready to stitch wherever, and she didn't need a whole lot of other stuff. So I thought that was clever. So preloaded needles, it's a good thing. Love that. Love it. Okay, I talked last week about that I had ordered some fabric from XJU Designs in Hungary, and that's Judith. Sorry for the crinkle there, but my order arrived. My order arrived basically later that day on Monday, but I had already finished filming. So let me show you what I ordered. This is the piece of linen that I ordered specifically from her for the Quaker Seasons of Friendship stitch along that Letitia sent me the pattern for. So this is 40 count Rocky Mountain, and Judith did it in a 19 by 28 size piece that I needed specifically for the pattern. So this piece is for my Quaker Seasons. I have yet, it smells so good. I said that last week, didn't I? I mean, it just smells so good. And I have some of her fabric in my drawer from a year ago, and it still has this faint smell of, I don't know, I have to find out what she uses because it's so good. It just smells beautiful. I love it. So this is a 40 count Zweigart in the colorway Rocky Mountain. And shall I open it up so you can see? Let's open it up. I haven't even opened it up yet. Oh my goodness, gravy. Good gravy. Look at this. Oh, look. Look at that. And depending on what way the light hits it, it just, oh, I love it. Wow. Okay, here's the other side. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Wow. Okay. So there's that piece, and the other piece that I ordered was a 28 count. I know, I never order 28 count, but I couldn't resist this colorway. This is called Old Linen. So 28 count cashel. Yeah, 28 count cashel. Oh, I was looking for that. My receipt. There we go. I hadn't even opened it because I didn't want to I wanted it to look nice for when I showed it to you. So, oh my gosh, look at that. I think that's probably the craziest piece of fabric I've ever bought. And for you, it's probably not crazy at all. It probably looks pretty neutral. This looks a lot like murky. Is that the color that Ellen did her pigs on? Though I'm sure it's a little more subtle than that. But oh, that's kind of neat, isn't it? I don't know. For me, that's kind of crazy. I think I'm gonna do something fun on it, but I'm not sure what yet. That's a big piece. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really look at the sizes. I'm like, ooh, I like that. Click. I don't usually do that, but I do like that. That's kind of cool. Looks like angel wings there. Look. See that? That's kind of neat. And then she tucked in, it looks like she tucked in some floss. What is this? Ooh, silk thread. Teal Dream. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that color. Actually, that color would look nice on this fabric. Yes, it would. Ooh, that's pretty. And then she also tucked in, which I was not expecting. Sorry for the crinkling. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Her prices are very reasonable. Okay, she tucked in a sample piece, and I almost ordered this, but I wasn't sure about the color because, you know, when you're looking at something on the screen and you can't tell if it's really the color that you think it is or if it might be a little too orangey, because I was thinking this might be too orange, but actually I'm not sure. It might be showing really, really super orange to you. And it is, but it's kind of like a butternut squash instead of a, I don't know, red orange. Do you know what I mean? It's a warm orange, like a spicy orange. Spicy is all I can think. Like, this needs a little fall pattern on it. So that's pumpkin. No, pumpkin? Yes, pumpkin, pardon me. So this was a 32 count Zweigart, 32 count little sample piece. So thank you, Judith. I love it. Love it. I love them all. And that Rocky Mountain, can't wait to start that. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I know, at least I know what's going on. It has a purpose. I just have to pick my thread. I have an idea of which thread. Might involve a silks for you that I already own because it's time. Let me show you Judith's card. There. See all of her information there. Cool. Whew. So there you have it. That was the retreat and my haul. I didn't buy anything else. I already told you last week that I had purchased that fabric and that it was coming. So, retreat. Speaking of retreat, thank you to everyone who emailed me, messaged me, private messaged me, DM'd me, and offered help on planning and organizing a potential Canadian large-scale retreat happening in Toronto, or in or near Toronto in the fall of this year. So many people have offered to help, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I still owe a few people some emails. At the moment, we have everything under control and things are progressing nicely. And if all goes well, I should have specific detailed information next Monday. Fingers crossed, not 100% promised, but things are looking really good that we found a hotel. things are looking really, really, really good that we found a hotel. So I don't want to specifically say which hotel or exactly which weekend, because just in case, I don't want anybody to make any plans or say that I made any promises that that I can't keep. I don't want to give you exact information until I have the exact information, and then I'll let you know how registration will take place. And I really hope, I'm starting to get really excited. So things are in the works, things are happening this week. We have spoken to a hotel that we are pretty sure is going to work. So we hope to have the final details a week from now. And I'm super excited. So more information to come. Okay, little quick shop update. I have a couple of things that I've just popped in the shop that I will be sewing tomorrow and Wednesday, and they will be shipping on Thursday if you would like them. These will be ready to go. I've made a couple of drawstring bags. I have more of this fabric to make, but just 2 of these little guys that have a ribbon, a navy ribbon drawstring. I only had enough ribbon to do 2. So I only have 2 of these in the shop. However, this combination I will be doing again because I have enough cut to make 8 more, but they will have a white drawstring. Can you see? There's a tone-on-tone liner in there. The drawstring will match the white liner, but I have 2 that have ribbons. Little trick for dealing with ribbon: if you want to use ribbon on something that you don't want the ends to fray, just hold, what I do is I light a candle, and then you hold the end of the cut ribbon just close enough to the flame that it just slightly starts to melt the very end of the cut of the ribbon, and it sort of, if you just barely touch it, you don't touch the flame, you just need to get it near to the flame, and it will seal off the end of your piece of ribbon, and then it won't fray, and it just makes a nice little finish on the end of it. So great little tip. So the reason I love this fabric is because it looks like the knit stitch. See that? It looks like the V of the knit stitch. So I have a little bit more of this print. I'll be making some more drawstrings with a fabric pull, and I will also be making some wedge totes next week. But this week was putting a few drawstrings in. So I only have 2 of those. The other set that I made this week, this was the fabric. I had to make a bag for the raffle for the retreat. And so I had a couple of meters of this print, and so this was the bag, made a medium size, but this was the bag that I made, not this bag, but this combo was what I made for the retreat as the raffle bag, and little notions pouch with it. And I have enough. I've cut 5 more of large, and that's all I have. Then this fabric is gone. So I've got them in the shop. I've got 5 large flat sets, and what it is, can you see? It is the most beautiful, tiny little blue floral. There, look at that. I just think it's so delicate and pretty. It's showing up, that's pretty good color there, because it's not like bright, bright, bright. It's a little bit of a muted blue, and then I've used a navy twill on the bottom, and then a white tonal floral vine on the inside. You can see that there. I love it. So I only have 5, but I can ship them out. Actually, I'll probably be able to ship everything out by Thursday. So there's 5 in the shop, and that's it. This fabric is gone, and I'm sorry, because that's all I have, and that's all I made. So there's 5 large sets. Large fits an 11-inch square Q-snap. Love it. And that's it. I'm working on a few other things for next week, and And I am already working on my next collaboration. And if you're still with me at the end of this very long video, you're getting a little sneak, not a sneak peek, but a sneak idea of what's coming up. Because I'm not going to do the next collection as a pre-order. I'm going to try to have the majority of it already done and made when I launch it, because the Alice collection was a little bit crazy and I don't think I slept much for about 2 weeks. Which was amazing. Truly amazing, really. But I think I'm going to try and do a little bit more of the work for this next one up front. But I can tell you that I have done a collaboration with Cheryl of Tiny Modernist. And the model has been done and photographed, and it's so beautiful. I love it. And for the very first time in a collection, I will be offering this kit with a hard copy pattern. So this will be coming with a cardstock pattern of Cheryl, Tiny Modernist's pattern. And the launch date for this will be to be announced, because I was going to do it April 1st, but all of the puzzle pieces have kind of come into order a little bit sooner than I expected, and so I may make this a first day of spring release. So I'll have some more news on that coming up. The only reason I'm telling you about this kit a little bit early is because this will be the last kit collection collaboration that I put out until Christmas. Normally I would put out a summer collection from the cottage. I'm not doing that this year. I am going to only be making one-of-a-kind patchwork bags, you know, things like what I've done with the blue floral, where there's 5 or 6 of one fabric, that kind of thing. Also the fabric, any fabric that's in the shop is still available. But so the collaboration with Tiny Modernist, and there will also be something in that kit coming from Carrie, the creative curator. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be fabulous. So again, numbers will be limited. I think I will have about 50, and I have purchased a couple extra of Cheryl's pattern to be able to use as giveaway for you, because I will, again, just like I had Michelle's pattern for a few weeks before it was released to everybody, it's going to be the same thing with Tiny Modernist. I'll have that pattern for a little bit before it's released for general sale. So I'm thinking the first day of spring, and it will be a spring collection. And again, that will be it until Christmas. And believe you me, I have already started working on the Christmas collaboration, because I get excited about these things, and it's hard not to. And you know, when you want to be prepared and have all of the pieces fall into place, then it's a good idea to start early. So I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it. Yep. I'm talked out. I'm talked out. That never happens. I don't even have one more thing. Nope, not even one more thing. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you on Friday for a Stitch With Me video. And that's it. Happy stitching. Take care, everybody.